All right, we want to take you live now to Ottawa. Here's Ontario Premier Doug Ford after his meeting with the Prime Minister.
By making sure that we reduce taxes, get rid of unnecessary regulatory burdens off the backs of companies, and compete. You know, I've always said, you know, that we can never predict what Donald Trump is going to do, but we can predict, we can create the environment and the conditions for companies to come here and invest. And direct foreign investment, the numbers came out a little while ago. Mind you, it was 2024. We had 409 companies, 39.875 billion, and 25,000 jobs created in Ontario. But keep in mind, that's before Donald Trump. So we have to beat him at his own game and make sure that we're more competitive and onshore as many products as possible.
So did you guys agree to any concrete action on that front today?
We had a great discussion. Nothing happens immediately in that room, but we're on the same page. We have a great partnership, and we're going to work jointly together to make sure that we're competitive and we create jobs.
How likely is it, do you think, we're going to get a deal right now, percentage-wise? What would you put on the chances of Canada and U.S. getting a trade deal?
Well, the main one is the USMCA CUSMA deal. That's really the main one. But in the meantime, we have to hold firm, and we have to create the environment. For instance, the steel sector. You know, the steel sector, we have to look at the large infrastructure projects, shipbuilding. Where Algoma up in Ontario, they do the flatbed steel, and make sure that large-scale infrastructure projects like a pipeline, the steel pipes come from Ontario.
Was your sense from the Prime Minister now that Canada just has to accept that we're going to have tariffs from the United States until we renegotiate USMCA? Like, is there any movement on getting those removed?
Well, I won't speak for the Prime Minister. What I can tell you, we're united on the message of let's start worrying about how we can be competitive here. Donald Trump is so unpredictable. I don't even know if he knows what he's doing tomorrow morning. So let's start focusing on creating that environment.
But is there an acceptance? Is there an acceptance, I guess, from leaders that we'll just have the tariffs?
Again, the Prime Minister will speak on that, but the President is unpredictable. He'll come out with some cockamamie thing tomorrow that we don't even know about.
So do you think that Carney is being too elbows down in response to that unpredictability?
Not at all. He's doing an incredible job. He's working collaboratively with 12 other premiers and myself, and working as Team Canada. And he's doing a very, very good job, in my opinion. Put in his position, dealing with Donald Trump. We'll stop worrying about Donald Trump. We'll start focusing on Ontario and Canada and all the other provinces and territories.
Premier, today is Pierre Poilievre's by-election. Mm-hmm. If he gets elected, I'm wondering, what's your advice to him going into the fall sitting of the Parliament?
Work with the Prime Minister.
How so?
Let's Team Canada. You know, let's put our political stripes aside and start working together collectively on large infrastructure projects, on other areas that he can cooperate with the government.
Would you have plans to meet with Poilievre to push that message and make sure that he is working with the Prime Minister?
All I want to do is move forward collectively as a government. I don't care about political stripes. The person I'm working with right now is the Prime Minister of the day. And as far as I'm concerned, he's doing a really, really good job considering the position he's been put in. I challenge anyone to try to deal with Donald Trump, myself included. He's a different type of cat. But we're united. We know what we need to do. And we know that we need to cut the regulatory burdens off of companies, lower taxes, put money back into people's pockets, support companies that need investment to grow and expand here, and onshore, the procurement side. It's absolutely critical.
Do you have anything for Air Canada workers? What's your message?
Well, everyone deserves a fair wage for a day's work. They order them back to work, and I think it has to be in the best interest of the workers, the company, and most importantly, the people of Canada. So I'm glad they'll be sitting down and talking, but let's keep the airlines moving.
Isn't it a complete disaster, though? I mean, we've got the unions refusing, the workers say they won't go back to work. We've got thousands of people stranded. They don't know how they're getting home. Like, this is not worked out, right?
That's up to the federal government to make sure they sit down at the table. That always happens when you have labor issues, but they'll work it out. It's happened before, and they'll get things moving.
Okay, thanks everyone. Do you have any plans to go to DC anytime soon?
Not lately. I won't. But when they need me, I'll be down there, giving my colleague Howard Lutnick a little poke.
Okay, we are just
He needs a
hearing
couple
from
more
Ontario
votes
Premier
in it.
Doug Ford with some really positive things to say about his meeting with the Prime Minister this morning, describing him in great glowing terms, saying that, you know, he's up against it while trying to negotiate with Donald Trump, calling Trump once again unpredictable. But he said the Prime Minister is doing a great job at trying to work collaboratively with all of the premiers under some pretty difficult and challenging situations. Also, the Premier was asked about the Air Canada strike, and he said that everyone deserves a fair wage.